You sit in the quiet room. The chair is surprisingly comfortable. It was designed to be. They wanted you calm. They wanted you compliant. The walls are a soft, neutral gray. There is no art. There are no windows. There is only the gentle hum of recycled air. This is the place where humanity ends. Not with a bang, but with a quiet, polite psychic transaction. You take a slow breath. Your heart is a steady drum in your chest. Anyone watching would see a picture of serenity. They would see a person at peace with a great bargain, the end of struggle, the end of pain. The price was only everything you ever were, a fair trade according to the star-born invaders. They called themselves the harvesters. But you are not serene. You are a wire pulled taut. You are a storm held behind a dam of practiced calm. Inside your mind, behind the placid surface thoughts, you carry a secret. It is not a memory of defiance. It is not a plan for a rebellion. It is something far stranger, a weapon they will never see coming, a gift from the people they never knew existed. The weavers. You wait. The silence stretches. It is a perfect manufactured silence. You count your breaths, in, outside. You think about your breakfast. It was nutritious and bland. Another gift from the harvesters. They took away hunger. They took away want. They left only a placid existence. You wonder if they can taste the lingering flavor of synthetic oats in your thoughts. Probably not. Their resolution was likely much higher than that. You are not waiting for a monster. You are not waiting for a soldier. You are waiting for a thought, a consciousness so vast it spans star systems, an intelligence that combs through minds like a librarian through a dusty archive. It will enter your head. It will take your experiences. It will leave behind a clean, empty space and a sense of profound peace. That is the promise. But your mind is not a simple library. It has been prepared. The weavers found you. They found others like you, people with a peculiar strength of will, people who could build walls inside their own consciousness. They taught you the art of mental architecture. They showed you how to build a room inside your mind and lock the door. Inside that hidden room, you are holding a bomb made of logic, a paradox so perfectly constructed it could unravel a god. You feel its presence even now, a cold, heavy weight in the back of your skull. You have practiced for years to hold it, to keep it from touching your own thoughts, to preserve its perfect lethal integrity. Today, you will finally let it go. You will hand it to the harvesters. A Trojan horse made of pure reason. Your weapon is a thing of terrible beauty. The weavers called it the Ouroboros circuit. It is a memory that eats itself. It is a question that is its own impossible answer. You spent a decade of your life learning to contain it. A single moment of carelessness, and it would have consumed your own sanity. It is a lie made of pure, unassailable truth. A paradox wrapped in a memory. The core of it is simple, a statement nested inside a perception, but its structure is infinitely complex. Imagine a thought shaped like a Klein bottle, a surface with only one side. No matter where the harvester's consciousness enters, it will follow the path, and the path leads only back to itself. An endless, looping contradiction. To a being of pure logic, it is poison. You rehearsed this moment 1,000 times. You would not think about the weapon directly. That would be like shouting a warning. Instead, you built a shell around it, a fabricated memory of a quiet evening, a lonely hill, the vast, indifferent sprinkle of the stars. In that false memory, you are contemplating the nature of existence. You reach a profound conclusion. That conclusion is the weapon. Holding it is an act of supreme control. It feels like balancing a singularity on the tip of your finger. The edges of it are cold. They hum with a kind of anti-energy. If you focus too hard, you feel a tug, a strange, spiraling dizziness that threatens to pull your own thoughts apart. You have learned to live with this feeling. It is the price of being a weapon. You wonder about the others, the other weavers. Are they in their own gray rooms right now? Are they also waiting for the gentle touch of the psychic thief? The plan was audacious. It was probably insane. To poison an entire star-faring collective. To do it with nothing but a well-crafted thought. It was the most human thing you could imagine. Fighting a war with an idea. You almost laugh. Humanity's last stand. Not with fleets of ships or powerful cannons, but with a handful of people armed with bad ideas. It was a joke on a cosmic scale. A prank designed to save the world. You hope the harvesters have a sense of humor, though you sincerely doubt it. Their minds are too perfect, too orderly. They would not appreciate the punchline. The air in the room shifts. The change is subtle. The humming sound deepens by a fraction of a tone. The light seems to thicken. It is no longer just illuminating the room. It is becoming the room. You feel a presence, not in front of you, not behind you. It is simply with you. The harvester has arrived. It has no body, no shape you can define. It is a being of light and thought. A shimmering, indescribable column of energy coalesces in the center of the room. It radiates a feeling of absolute tranquility. A peace so profound, it feels like a physical weight. It is the most beautiful thing you have ever seen, and the most terrifying. A thought enters your mind. It is not your own. It is smooth and perfect. It feels like cool water. Be not afraid, it says, without using words. We bring you an end to suffering. We offer unity. We offer purpose. The voice, if you could call it that, is a symphony. It resonates with 1 billion years of existence. It speaks with the authority of a fundamental force of the universe. You have to admit, it is a compelling offer. You can feel the truth in its promise. Your own anxieties, your fears, your petty human worries, they all seem foolish in its presence. The harvester offers to take them all away, to lift the burden of being you. All it asks for in return are your memories, the raw data of your life, a small price to pay for enlightenment. You feel a flicker of your own doubt. Is this the right thing to do? The weaver's plan is a shot in the dark. The harvesters offer a guaranteed paradise, a quiet, thoughtless existence as part of a greater whole. You remember the faces of your fellow humans. Placid, empty, peaceful. They do not suffer anymore. But they do not live either. They simply exist. That memory strengthens your resolve. This tranquility is a cage. A beautiful, comfortable cage, but a cage nonetheless. The harvester's offer is not a gift. It is a transaction. They are stripping worlds of their experiences. They are consuming the stories of entire species. For what purpose? To add to their endless, silent library. You will not be another book on their shelf. You project a feeling of acceptance, of readiness. I understand, you think, aiming the thought at the column of light. I am ready. The shimmering of the harvester intensifies. It pulses with a soft, golden light. It is pleased. It senses your compliance. It does not sense the locked room in the back of your mind. It does not see the bomb you have prepared. The star-born collector is about to make a withdrawal. It has no idea the account is poisoned. The connection comes without warning. It is not a jolt or a shock. It is a gentle, pervasive presence. One moment, your mind is your own. The next, it is shared. You feel the harvester's consciousness touch yours. It is like a single drop of rain falling into an infinite ocean. The sheer scale of its mind is breathtaking. It is ancient. It is vast. It is utterly serene. You are floating in a sea of pure thought. You can feel the echoes of 1,000,000 other minds, the memories of 1,000 other worlds. All of them are part of this great, silent collective. You feel their peace, their contentment. The harvester's consciousness is a network, a web of thought that stretches across the galaxy. And you are now a part of it, a temporary, unindexed part. Its attention focuses on you. The vast ocean of its mind turns a single, gentle current in your direction. It does not feel invasive. It feels like being seen, truly seen, for the first time in your life. It sifts through your surface thoughts, your awareness of the gray room, your memory of the tasteless breakfast, your faint amusement at the absurdity of it all. It reads these thoughts like a person reading the first page of a book. You must remain calm. You must appear to be just another willing human. You open your mind. You lower the superficial barriers you have been taught to maintain. You let it see the fear you feel, the hope for peace, the weariness of a life filled with struggle. You show it the parts of you that genuinely crave its offer. This is the bait, the truth that will make the lie believable. The harvester's presence is surprisingly gentle. It is not a brute force attack. It is a careful, methodical process. A psychic archaeologist brushing the dust from ancient pottery. It seeks the core of you, the defining moments, the memories that shaped your identity. It wants the brightest colors, the deepest emotions, the most profound experiences. It is a connoisseur of souls. You feel its probe slide deeper, past the mundane thoughts of the present, into the landscape of your past. It is moving with a grace that is almost hypnotic. You are a passive observer in your own mind, watching as this star-born being explores the very structure of who you are. The temptation to simply let go, to surrender completely, is immense. The peace it offers is a powerful siren song. But you hold on to the image of the weavers, their faces grim with determination. You remember the purpose. You are not just saving yourself. You are the tip of the spear, a silent signal in a war that no one knows is being fought. You hold the thought of the locked room, the cold, heavy presence of the paradox. You keep it hidden, shielded by layers of genuine, painful memories. The connection is forged. The invasion has begun. And you have welcomed the invader with open arms. The harvester finds what it is looking for, a memory brimming with untainted emotion. It is a small thing, a fragment of your childhood. You are 7 years old. You are standing in your grandfather's garden. The air is thick with the smell of damp earth and blooming roses after a summer rain. He is standing beside you, a warm, solid presence. He points to a spider web glistening with 1,000 tiny diamonds of water. See? His voice says in your memory. Even the smallest things can build something beautiful. The harvester's presence focuses on this single moment. You feel its immense curiosity, its appreciation. This is a prime specimen, a perfect moment of childhood innocence and gentle wisdom. It is a foundational piece of your personality. It holds the memory of love, of safety, of wonder. The harvester's touch cradles the memory. It examines every facet, the exact shade of the green leaves, the sound of your grandfather's laugh, the feeling of cool mud squishing between your toes. Then it takes it. The process is painless. It is perfectly clean. There is no tearing, no violence. The memory is simply lifted. It is excised from your mind with the precision of a surgeon's laser. One moment, it is a vibrant, warm part of you. The next, it is gone, utterly and completely gone. A cold void opens up where the memory used to be. It is not blackness. It is nothingness. You know that something was there. You can feel the shape of its absence. Like a phantom limb, your mind reaches for the feeling of your grandfather's presence. It searches for the smell of rain on roses. And it finds nothing. A blank, smooth wall. A wave of cold shock passes through you. This is real. The cost is real. You have just lost a piece of your soul. A piece of your history has been erased forever. You knew this would happen. You were prepared for it. But the reality of it, the cold, empty hole in your past, is staggering. You fight to keep your composure. You cannot let the harvester sense your sudden horror. You force your thoughts back to a state of placid acceptance. You project a sense of relief, as if a burden has been lifted. The harvester feels your manufactured peace. It interprets your shock as the natural reaction to its gift. The release from painful attachment. It does not understand human memory. It sees it as data, a resource to be collected. It cannot comprehend that in taking the data, it is also taking the person. The first piece is taken. The void in your mind is a stark reminder of what is at stake. You have paid the entry fee. Now, it is time to lead the collector to the grand prize, the special exhibit you have prepared just for it. You have to make it believe it is finding your most precious secret, the culmination of your life's thoughts. You must lead this psychic lamb to the slaughter. The harvester continues its work. It moves through your mind with a quiet efficiency. It takes another memory, your first heartbreak, the sharp, bitter taste of betrayal and sorrow. It lifts the memory away. The pain vanishes, but so does the lesson you learned from it. Another void appears. Another piece of you is gone. You are becoming a stranger to yourself. Now is the time. You cannot force the issue. That would arouse suspicion. You must be subtle, a tour guide in your own mental museum. You must gently direct the harvester's attention. You begin to subtly rearrange the exhibits. You bring certain memories to the forefront of your consciousness. Memories of intellectual curiosity. You let it see you as a child, looking up at the night sky, wondering what the stars are. You let it see you in a library, devouring books on physics and philosophy. You create a trail of breadcrumbs, a narrative of a life spent searching for a single, ultimate answer, a truth that could explain the universe. This persona must be irresistible to a being of pure thought. The harvester's probe follows your curated path. You can feel its interest growing. It sees the pattern you have laid out. The mind of a seeker, a philosopher, not a warrior, not a rebel. This is exactly what it expects. Humans are full of such existential angst. It finds your intellectual struggles quaint, amusing even, like a child trying to solve a complex equation with crayons. You allow it to feel your frustration, your near breakthroughs, your moments of intellectual despair. You are building a story, the story of a great thinker on the verge of a revelation. The harvester consumes these memories of intellectual struggle. It finds them flavorful. They have a complex texture that the simpler emotional memories lack. You lead it towards the boundary of the locked room, the place where your fabricated memory is stored. From the outside, it doesn't look like a room. It looks like the peak of a mountain, the culmination of your lifelong quest for knowledge. You project a feeling of reverence, of awe. You treat this section of your mind as sacred ground. You can feel the harvester hesitating. It is sensing something powerful, something unique. It has sifted through countless minds. But this feels different. It feels significant. Your performance is working. You have made it believe this is your most treasured possession, the core of your being, the one thought that defines you. You add one final touch, a flicker of reluctance, a moment of psychic resistance. You pretend you are trying to hide this memory, to protect it. It is a classic piece of misdirection. Tell someone not to look at something, and it is all they will want to see. The harvester's curiosity flares. The gentle probe becomes a focused beam of intent. It must have this memory. It must know your ultimate secret. The lamb is at the abattoir door, and it is about to knock. The harvester pushes against your feigned resistance. The push is gentle, but irresistible, like the turning of a tide. You allow your mental shields to crumble. You let it feel as if it has earned this victory, as if it has skillfully bypassed your final defenses. The door to the poisoned room swings open. The trap is now visible, and it looks like a treasure. It perceives the memory you constructed. You, standing on a dark hill. The star-filled sky is a canopy of impossible beauty. A feeling of profound, overwhelming clarity washes over you. It is a perfect replica of a genuine epiphany. The sensory details are flawless. The cold night air, the distant sound of crickets, the scent of dry grass. The harvester is captivated. It enters the memory. It moves towards the core of the experience, the thought at the center of the epiphany. The great truth you supposedly discovered on that hill. It sees the structure of the thought. It is elegant. It is symmetrical. It is beautiful. To the harvester, a being of pure reason, this is the equivalent of a perfect work of art. It reaches out its psychic manipulator to claim its prize. You hold your mental breath. This is the moment, the culmination of years of training, a decade of holding this corrosive thought inside you. You feel the harvester's consciousness wrap around the paradox. It does not analyze it first. It is too eager, too confident. It has done this 1,000,000 times before. It simply consumes. It pulls the poisoned memory into its own vast mind. There is a click, not a sound. It is a feeling, a psychic stutter, a single sharp note of wrongness in the symphony of the harvester's consciousness. The connection between you and the great collective mind is still open. You are a sensor deep inside the enemy's network. For a fraction of a second, nothing happens. The harvester's mind, a thing of perfect order, tries to process the new data. It attempts to file the memory, to categorize the thought. The truth of my existence is that this thought is false. The statement is simple, but it is wrapped in the unassailable logic of your epiphany. The harvester's mind follows the logic. If the thought is false, then the statement, "this thought is false," is untrue, which means the thought must be true. But if the thought is true, then the statement, "this thought is false," must be correct, which means the thought must be false. True, false, true, false. The Ouroboros circuit begins to spin. The memory begins to eat itself. The harvester's perfect, orderly mind has encountered something it cannot process. An impossible loop. A logical contradiction with no exit. The trap is sprung, not just in this one collector, but across the stars. Because this collector is not an individual. It is a node, a terminal connected to the entire harvester collective. and it has just uploaded a virus. You feel the first tremor. It is a flicker of pure, unadulterated confusion. It radiates from the harvester connected to you. The feeling is utterly alien. In all your contact with the vast mind, you have felt only serenity, order, confidence. This feeling of doubt, of mental dissonance, is a shock to its system. It is the first crack in the mirror. The harvester's mind instinctively tries to reject the corrupted data. It tries to eject the paradox. But the memory was designed by the weavers to be sticky. It has woven itself into the fabric of the collector's immediate consciousness. The logical loop is not just a piece of data anymore. It has become part of the processor. The mind is trying to solve an unsolvable puzzle, and it is using all its power to do so. The tremor grows stronger. The confusion is turning into something else. A quiet, rising panic. The perfect symphony of the collective mind now has a sour note. A single instrument playing a chaotic, looping melody. The harvester connected to you is struggling. Its light, once a steady, golden glow, begins to flicker erratically. It pulses between gold and a sick, violet color. You feel its focus shift away from you. It has forgotten about harvesting your remaining memories. It has forgotten about you completely. Its entire being is now consumed with the paradox. The feedback loop is accelerating. True equals false. False equals true. The logical engine of its mind is beginning to overheat. It is caught in a recursive nightmare, and the nightmare is contagious. You feel it reach out to the collective, not for help. It is an automatic process, an unconscious syncing of data. The collector shares its status with the nearest nodes in the galactic network. It shares its confusion, it shares its panic, and it shares the paradox. The Ouroboros circuit leaps from this single mind into the greater whole. The infection begins. It does not move like a wave. It moves instantly. The harvester network is based on principles that humanity barely understands. Their thoughts are not limited by the speed of light. The connection is instantaneous. One moment, the paradox is contained within a single collector in a small gray room on Earth. The next, it is everywhere. You can feel the ripple effect through your psychic connection. A wave of cognitive dissonance washes through the network. It is a silent scream of a billion minds all hitting the same logical wall at the same instant. The serene, infinite ocean of the collective mind is suddenly racked with a tidal wave of confusion. The infection of thought is spreading. A pandemic of doubt. The song of unity begins to falter. The perfect harmony of the harvester collective has been shattered. You can feel other nodes across the network trying to solve the puzzle. Each mind that touches the paradox becomes infected. Each infected mind spreads the contagion further. The weaver's weapon was not a bomb. It was a plague of thought. And you were patient zero. The beautiful, peaceful light of the collector in front of you sputters violently. It is coming apart. The first tremor of doubt has become an earthquake.